All right, everybody, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. This Friday morning, I'm leading a meditation tomorrow morning. This Friday morning, Venerable Rabina's leading it. So I'll be there. All right. So make yourselves comfortable and just, prepare yourself for meditation. So, if you're not actually, if you're listening to the practice and visualizing it, you can kind of sit in meditation or you can participate. So have your feet about a hip's width apart. I have my sits bones are slightly elevated on a little cushion that's kind of about this, maybe this high. And then my shoulders are aligned with my hips. And now imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And imagine you're lengthening your spine. Put some space in between your vertebrae. Then go to the crown of the head and just relax your scalp. Release any tension in your face, your ears, your jaw, back of the tongue, the back of the head, the neck. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to just drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly, and all of your limbs. And be aware of the breath sensations, the inhalation and the exhalation you may feel around the nostrils. You may be more aware of the chest cavity. And if you are, imagine you're inhaling and exhaling. Your inhale is 360 degrees, your rib cage, your lungs expanding. And then equally, as you exhale, diaphragm rises, and you exhale evenly, bringing the ribs, the lungs, the diaphragm pushes the air out, or helps to. And then your belly, you may feel the rising and the falling of the belly. And be aware of any sounds in your environment, just allowing those sounds to be there. Trying not to follow with the mind. So an interesting experience I had in my sound bath was that I was trying to follow where the sound was coming from. And it was interesting for me to watch my mind around just allowing the sound to come in to my own energy field, into my body. So notice when you have if those of you are going on Sunday, see how your mind responds to the sound. But for now, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. Just allow the sounds to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. And then notice what's in your mind this evening. For Shrey, it's morning. For some of you in Australia, it's the middle of the day. And for others of you, it's very late. So just see where your mind's at. Check in with yourself. Put some space in between your thoughts. Have a little curiosity about what's going on in there. you have some fears, maybe just kind of think that you just kind of pull it out and examine it objectively. If you have any anger, do the same. Just pull it out. Look at it. And then just bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, ones we don't like, remembering they're all equal. They all want to be happy. They don't want to suffer, just like you and me. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think. We do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And I heard today that President Joe Biden has metastasized prostate cancer. Prostate? Yeah. And it's in his bones now, so this is going to be quite painful. So I just wanted to think of him, this person who's kind of spent quite a bit of his life serving. And then maybe just all sentient beings, and maybe all people with different forms of cancer, all people who are sick, all people who are in war zones, troubled by this or that. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions, your body, your speech, and then in general regret all. And remembering the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think again, I'm sick of suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're not looking for a higher power. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So we see this as kind of like a healing practice. So you imagine Vajrasattva's above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot on the top of his head. His arms are crossed at his heart, and the left underneath the right, nearest the chest, nearest the heart. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And now, in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, which is why this little section is in the second section called reliance. So why? How does that work? So, if you've harmed someone, have a wish in your heart for them to be free from suffering. Compassion is really wishing for someone, something, to be some sentient being, to be free from suffering. And then if someone's harmed you, well, particularly these people, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for all these beings. And then we come to the power of the remedy. And this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Drita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasiti mempi yatta sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata a hompe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatta sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata a hompe, Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, Vajrasattva dinapatita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatta sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata a hompe, Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, Vajrasattva dinapatita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatta sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata a hompe, Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, Vajrasattva dinapatita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatta sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata a hompe, Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, Vajrasattva dinapatita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatta sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata a hompe, Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, Vajrasattva dinapatita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatta sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata a hompe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. Next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip, the harsh speech, the useless speech, lying, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Juda Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sata A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe. Vajrasattva samayam nupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. Next is the purification of our mind. And imagine now Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white light from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire body. So kind of instantly dispelling all the negativity of your mind, your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges. All of this is instantly dispelled, just like when you flick on a switch in a dark room. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So, remember the light, the nectar flowing down and pushing out all the negativity of the body, then the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then light coming and blasting all the delusions. And this is happening all simultaneously. And it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's really crucial that we do this one. It was where we make a decision to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming becomes like a beacon that guides your body, your speech, and your mind in new directions. So rejoice in your efforts for turning up this evening, this morning, this afternoon. And then think of perhaps something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. And then Vajrasattva, imagine, delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lama Zopa Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think, the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. We do it chanting the names of Manjushri, the stages of awakening according to illusion's net. And then, about the Lord of Speech, he spoke these verses, which include 6 kingly mantras, which manifest from non-duality, which bear the quality of non-arising, are A, I, U, I, A, Al, A, Titi, To, Sri, Jana Murtir, Aham, Buddho, Buddhanam, Triadva, Vartinam, Vajra, Tikshna, Dukkha, Cheda, Prajna, Jana Murtaye, Janakaya, Vagisava, Aparachanaye, Te Nama. Okay. Lots of love, everybody.